The birth of civilization. You know, when we think about civilization, pictures from history textbooks immediately pop into our heads. Pyramids, some majestic columns, people in togas writing something on tablets, and it seems to us that this is civilization, cities, writing, big, beautiful buildings. But then I realized one simple thing. Civilization is a process. We constantly confuse cause and effect. We look at the result and think that this is the beginning. Today I just want to talk with you about how all this actually started, without pomposity, without complex terms. Let's just try to imagine how it was. Let's agree right away, civilization is not some real thing that exists by itself. It's just a word we invented to describe a certain way of people's life, a way of organizing space, society, and relationships between people. And here the most interesting part begins. When we say civilization, we usually imagine these same pyramids, writings, and palaces, but I keep catching myself thinking, this is already a finished cake, but we are interested in the recipe. What was at the very beginning? What made people go down this path? Imagine a group of people. They live somewhere in a valley, gathering, hunting. There are, let's say, 30 of them, maybe 50. This is a natural group, roughly that many people can know each other personally, understand who is who. And now imagine, suddenly there are 300 of them, or 1,000, or 10,000. Can you feel the difference? Imagine, people who are hidden from us behind the veil of time, but they're just as alive, with the same desires, fears, feelings, and grievances. And from small groups over a very, very long time, these people begin to unite. One tribe unites with another because it helps to survive, to protect themselves, and so gradually a community forms. This, I think, is the first real sign of civilization. When there become unnaturally many people, more than nature intends, more than there can be in a regular pack, in a regular tribe. In the process of this unification, people must communicate, express their feelings, warn about danger, and pass on experience. And it is this mass of people that later builds what remains after them, these very pyramids. Because one person won't build a pyramid, even 100 people won't build it. You need thousands. You need organization. Someone needs to say, we will drag these stones over there and we will do this for 10 years. The same with writing. I often think, at what moment did it even occur to someone to start scratching marks on clay? And I understand, this happens only when there are people in society who can afford it, who don't run around all day looking for food, who sit in the shade while someone else brings them food. This is an inequality. And this, is one of the most important moments, while everyone walks through the forest gathering berries, while everyone chases game, while everyone is equally concerned with simply surviving until tomorrow, there will be no writing. Because when you're thinking about food, you have no time for marks on tablets. But when someone appears in society who can say, I will manage and you will work, when someone appears who organizes, distributes plans, that's when the opportunity for everything else appears. And here another interesting story begins. Imagine a field, an ordinary wild field where all kinds of grass grow. And now imagine that people come there, pull out all this grass and plant one specific plant. Wheat, for example, or barley. They tell nature, oh, sorry, but what we need will grow here now. Or take animals. Goats don't hurt themselves, right? Elephants don't come to people and say, I've been thinking, maybe I should follow you and do what you say. No, it's people who catch animals, tame them, domesticate them, force them to live where it's convenient for people, and do what's convenient for people. And I keep trying to imagine this moment. Here walks a person with a stick and goats trudge behind them. They no longer run where they want, they go where they're led. Nature has ceased to be wild, it has become controlled, and here inequality arises again, because one person now has 10 goats and another has 2, one has a large field and another has a small one. Someone can accumulate and someone cannot. Remember those people who sat in the shade and scratched marks. Now they appear in full height, because now some can afford not to be engaged in obtaining food at all. Some manage, some organize, some build, some think. And society begins to depend on these people. If one person disappears from a group of hunter-gatherers, nothing terrible will happen. The rest will move on, hunt, gather, and live. But imagine that the one who knows how to organize field irrigation disappears, or the one who knows when to sow and when to harvest, or the one who distributes grain for winter. Without this person, society risks simply perishing. This is what civilization is. It's when a system becomes so complex that it depends on individual people who know and can do more than everyone else. It's when specialization appears. It's when vulnerability appears. And it's when people become different, not equal. Someone is stronger, someone is weaker, someone is in power, someone is below, someone eats meat every day, and someone makes do with porridge. This is neither good nor bad. This is just how it works. Everything I've told you today is not a list of features to memorize. It's a process, slow, complex, tangled, where one thing pulls another, where causes become effects, and effects become new causes. In the following videos, we'll examine each of these moments separately, unhurriedly, step by step. I think it's worth it. And now I suggest we stop and just think about this. Imagine these people, how they stood on the threshold of something new and didn't even know it.